Welcome back to the Rebel's Edge, where on a holiday shortened week, we are also shortening the Rebel's Edge, not necessarily by time, but definitely by personnel. So it's just Jared and John here on the Rebel's Edge. Bang. Back here again at SIBO Global Markets, folks. So that pit behind me, that is the S&P 500. Yep, back to capacity again, even though we're just one day removed from Christmas. For all of you who observe, I hope it was a fabulous Christmas. And for all that are observing Hanukkah today and tonight, 7 crazy nights, I guess. Or is it 8? I think it's 8 crazy nights. But anyway, Jared and I are handling the duties today. Normally, I would have Mark or my brother Pete or perhaps Justin Nugent joining me, but not today, folks. It's just John. So you get lots of John today. And what we're going to do is dive right into Macro Minute. And I'm going to say today that Americans applying for unemployment benefits held pretty steady. And thus, even though we did have the highest continuing claims number in over 3 years, that might be one more reason that our January numbers might move around a little bit as far as the CME tool for following Fed funds. But right now, we're basically looking at March as the first and perhaps most likely time when we'd cut. What I will explain to some of you, though, is that when we first began this cutting cycle, which was the 18th of September, of course, the 10-year bond was right around 3.68%. Just recently, the 20th of December, it was over 4.7%. So it is the first time in history that we've actually seen the rates going up so dramatically when the Fed thinks they should be going the opposite way. And that means bond vigilantes just aren't believing in what the Fed is selling. But we'll see whether or not that changes. For right now, that is my macro minute. And then if I take a look at fantastic futures, well, I'm going to say Bitcoin basically getting a lot of love apparently from Russia because they announced that they are indeed getting around the sanctions by using Bitcoin. That's right, because so many parts of the world, you can basically use Bitcoin as a currency. Many of us view it more as a store of value, but also it is obviously pretty much a universally traded asset class. And so with it hovering around this $100,000 level, an awful lot of people are looking pretty closely at Bitcoin again because of what Mr. Putin and what Russia is accomplishing, apparently, by being able to get around the sanctions with this. All right, we're going to dive right in now to Nissan. That's N-S-A-N-Y. Yeah, I get it. It's a 5-letter acronym. But Nissan, a merger like this would have been impossible to even imagine, folks. That's, of course, Honda Motor Corp, HMC, and Nissan, which is an awful lot like BMW and Mercedes-Benz getting together. It's just not something that most of us would say, but now we are indeed seeing a big 16% rally out of Nissan. You've already heard us say that there's the possibility Mitsubishi might be part of this as well. So we're throwing it out there to you that this is what many of us are looking at today. The volumes here in Nissan are pretty tremendous. So I'd say keep an eye on what's going on with these car companies, because I'll have another one for you in just a minute. Now let's take a look at Rigetti Computer or Computing. I always get that wrong, but Rigetti Computing, these guys do take a fundamentally different approach to quantum computing than IonQ, which they have basically supercomputing circuits and so forth. And some of you lashed out at me and said, "Is that even a real company, Jon?" Yes, Rigetti is a real company, folks. But when I describe what I describe that I am trading, it's not an investment. So, in other words, am I putting an endorsement on any of these companies that I cover when we're talking about unusual activity or just trading volumes and so forth? No. What I am doing is saying, because of the unusual activity in these particular stocks, we have decided to trade them. And that is a trade. So, for instance, take a look at this one. Talked about it on Monday because, yeah, it hit with unusual activity. There's a great chart from TradingView that Jared has brought up. Look at that. They came in, bought February calls. Stock was 943. Today it trades over 13 bucks. So, again, if you're here to make money like I am, I pay attention to things like this. Am I saying that this company is going to be the next Apple or the next NVIDIA? No, I am not. But I am saying that they have something pretty compelling, and it's not just short interest. It is real buying activity, and that's why we cite it here for you. It's not because I think these are great investments. I don't tell you about investments. I have a team over here at Market Rebellion and Rebellion Capital Partners, headed up by Todd Rarup and Jeff Melgard, that basically they do the trading and investing side of the business. I'm just all about trading, folks. All right, let's take a look next at Rumble, RUM, another one with unusual activity from just this past Monday. And what did Rumble have? Well, as you know, Tether decided to put some $775 million into this YouTube alternative. And these guys had strong upside call buying. Well, guess what? The stock continued to the upside. Look at that big spike. There you saw it on the 23rd, which was, of course, Monday, the last full day of trading before we came into the holiday. And then today, look at that continuation. So another 25% today. Yeah, that's why we're paying attention. Again, I love Rumble. I love that they're an alternative to YouTube. For Dan Bongino, for Steven Crowder, for Steve Bannon, for anybody who uses this to listen to music, to watch podcasts, whatever. And it's not nearly as onerous on what is said on that platform as it is on Google's YouTube. Do I hate YouTube? Of course not. But I love that there are reasonable alternatives. And this money, this investment made by Tether, USDC, that is one of the reasons that these guys seem to be seeing so much love. But also, you can never just dismiss what could be out there, folks, because of, again, short interest. And what is short interest? If this is the first time you're hearing me say it, or first time you're hearing anybody say it, short interest are people who have bet against the company. They have sold. When my hands are like this, that means I'm a seller. If my hands are pulling, that means I'm a buyer. So when they're pushing like this, those are people who have sold the stock in hopes of buying it back at a cheaper price in order to make money. Much like the other 90% of the world buys stocks hoping to sell them higher. This is just the opposite side of that same coin. But when you get people who are caught in a short position and the pressure just keeps pushing to the upside, that causes many of them to chase into these stocks as much as the buying pressure alone does. All right, let's now cover the fourth and final stock that I'll cover today. And I promised you another car company. Well, guess what? That's exactly what we've got. Toyota Motors, TM. So they basically have thrown down the gauntlet and said they're going to see a 20% return on equity, ROE. 20% return on equity goal. That is what they've thrown out there. People looking at this figure, okay, how do they get there? Do they get there through dividend hikes, share buybacks, equity sales, and all the rest? Well, the stock was making a very strong move today. And I think this obviously is one of the big success stories and probably one of the reasons we've got to see. Now, Honda didn't have to have a partnership. But what Honda looked at, I believe HMC, when they look at Nissan, they're basically picking up something that the Nissan Motor Company was in a pickle, and they needed a deep-pocketed partner. And then Mitsubishi perhaps throwing in with them. Perhaps Nissan and Mitsubishi need this deep-pocketed partner, Honda Motor, because of the success of Toyota Motors, TM. So that's what I'll throw out to all of you, that there is the real possibility that Toyota is what's behind all of this other merger activity that might be including Mitsubishi in with that Nissan Honda Motors merger. Well, folks, going to pretty much do it for us. I'm delighted to be here at CBOE Global Markets, CBO Global Markets. You can hear the traders behind me in the S&P 500 pit. I'll be back here again tomorrow with more, and I'd always encourage you to check out Market Rebellion. We try to keep that little bug in the corner of the QR code so that you guys can go there and check out the, there it is. You guys can go there and check out our offering for March 22nd. That's March 22nd, 2025. It's coming our way fast, folks. It's basically 3 months away when we will be out there with Grant Cardone at the fabulous RebelCon 2025. The first 2 days, it's Grant and a whole bunch of celebrities. We're flattered to be part of that. And then Grant joins us at RebelCon at the MGM Grand. So if you'd like to join us, click that little QR code and get ready for a fabulous time in Las Vegas, the 22nd of March. We will see you again on Monday. Thanks for joining me, folks.